divided we fall. Unity is strength, oh. United we stand, oh. United we stand, oh. Divided we fall. Unity is strength, oh. United we stand, oh. Oh.
United we stand, oh. Divided we fall. Unity is strength, oh. United we stand, oh. United we stand, oh. Divided we fall. Unity is strength, oh. United we stand, oh.
My dear brothers, let's come together. Two cannot walk unless they agree. My dear brothers, let's come together. Peace cannot reign unless there is love. Oh, my dear sisters, let us stand united. Hold hands together, help one another. United we stand, divided we all shall fall. United we stand, divided we all shall fall.
Laissez le monde s'unir et relever ensemble.
United we stand, divided we all shall fall.
Where's the better way? I was again title.
United we stand, divided we all shall fall. United we stand, divided we all shall fall.
Hello. Nice to meet you guys again. This is a special show. Today we have 3 items. We will talk about the Bamenda market, that is on flames as we speak. We also gonna be talking about the NSALAI law firm, the La République du Cameroon's lobby, who is trying to lobby for La République, and we'll talk also about the comments and the past failed attempts by this same NSALAI law firm to sue the genuine freedom fighters of Ambazonia in America. How he failed, and now we hear that he's going back to Europe to go and try some attempts with some people there. So we'll talk about his failed attempts and all those, his La République du Cameroun political games that they are playing with the lives of the Ambazonian people. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Yes, the Bamenda market is on fire. We don't actually know the cause of the fire. We are still waiting for feedback of what happened on this yesterday night. We don't know what really happened, but we heard that there was a light failure. We don't know much about that, but most of the main market has been engulfed in flames, and as you can see, it's really something that we really need to wait to know the cause of it. Because as we speak, we don't really know what's going on, so we're waiting to know the cause of the fire. But for now, we are still keeping our hands crossed. We don't want to lay blame on people for now, because we don't really know the cause of the fire, and we'll also wait about that. So we are seeing a trend in this struggle for the past 7 years that we have been that we told you that La République hired these firms, these lobby firms, long before as this struggle started, right? We knew the reason why they were hiring all these guys. They were to lobby for them to go and be telling lies to these senators, telling lies to government officials, go and tell lies to these people so that they can make their way, they can keep killing our people. That's the only reason that they're hiring this law firm. When justice is not being served, they want to use lobbies to go and lobby for their lies that they are telling about what is happening in Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia. That is the work of this lobby firm. And the NSALAI law firm, this time around, has been very, very pushful when it comes to this. We heard before that he filed bankruptcy. You remember, this guy is from Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia. Okay, we know that he filed bankruptcy, and he was hoping that the Cameroon government will bail him out of his business bankruptcy. We don't really know what happened to that, but what we know is that he filed for bankruptcy, and unfortunately, the United States Department of Justice is the most powerful and admirable judicial system in the world. Whether you agree with my assessment or not, it is. Okay, so we know that this guy is a fraud. We don't forget that he also has a case. Okay, he also has a case in the COVID fraud. COVID fraud. He has a case with the COVID fraud. What he's trying to do now is trying to look for money, because all the cases he had in the United States, he lost all those cases. So he had a case against Tapang Ivo, he lost that case. A case against Comrade Chris Ano, he lost that case. He had a case, so many cases. But at the end of the day, what are we learning from that? We are learning that in America, the America judges don't go with bribes and corruption. You cannot bribe your way towards fraud. Okay? The NSALAI law firm, the NSALAI brothers, the family were trying to bribe their way. Then they can go and collect money from Yaoundé. Okay? It did not work. That did not work. The Yaoundé regime failed in that by thinking that they can go and use these law firms so that they can bribe their way, but it did not work, right? It did not work. So behind you see, you can see that is the law. That is the case that was filed by this NSALAI law firm people against some of our activists in Europe, because in America they fail woefully. They have failed to do anything in America when it comes to this law. The case against Tapang Ivo, the NSALAI law firm could not do anything. The case against Eric Tato was thrown out of the court. The case against Comrade Chris Ano was also thrown out of the court. Instead, the NSALAI law firm had to pay the money for their case, for their court charges. Every money that they spend in the court, they paid back to them. Okay, so if somebody like Tapang Ivo could receive about $9,000, $9,000 is approximately 5 million Cameroon money, right? That Tapang Ivo received from this very law. So I'm telling all these guys in Europe, they should keep calm. I heard that he has filed case against, I'll read some names, Lukong, Oscar Funky from Switzerland, Che Edward, and Che Ade of Chi Cisco Diva from South Africa. He also Asongwe Abongwa from China. He has also had case against Amos Tumenta, Lyonga, also those are in Italy. Shea Mata, he said France. C. Priska, Ivo, Ekwe Patrice Kennedy, Tiku Tiny Mbo from England, Metuge Ekumezoge, Elat Kizito Logan, Doris Mencia from Germany, Francis Itoe Ebonge in Nigeria, and so many names that they name, and somebody's like Ayabacho, whose name appeared there. This is what Ayaba had to say to the NSALAI law firm about this issue. He said someone should tell NSALAI that help is not coming. The reason I am making this response is to help my people ignore the desperation of a conman turned an international legal joke. You will have to fight and defeat Ambazonia on the battlefield to effect your next adventure in colonial occupation. No courts. This is Ayaba talking about this NSALAI guy. He said, no courts or international political organ will help Cameroon reacquire our sovereignty. Anyone or group of persons on our way to self-preservation will be shipped to God for judgment. This is not the Muna, Frundi, or Elat generation. We are the gun generation, and we take no prisoners. Dr. Cho Ayaba. So that is some of those comments coming from this law firm. The reactions coming from this law against some of our activists in Europe. You know, in America, we have faced most of these guys heads on, because when you are fighting for justice, you know, when you have a just cause, the devil is a liar. Our cause has been for 7 years. We have seen all these things that this law firm is doing. Okay, we hear that La Republique hired a second. You know, this is the third time La Republique is trying to use these guys. Okay, but the first time failed, the second attempt they failed, and this is the third attempt that they should go and indict Ambazonian leaders, this time in Europe. The indictment in US failed. Okay, the NSALAI, we hear him was speaking in CRTV, right, where he was accusing the Ambazonian leaders as perpetrators of the massacres, and say he want to prosecute them in the courts. So, but at the end of the day, when the La Republique government commit crimes, we don't see these guys come out. When they want to put the blame on the Ambazonian people, these are when these guys are coming out. Where was he during Gabu? Where was he during the Kumba massacre? Where was he during the other massacre that happened? We never saw our law expert coming to be talking about this, right? But this is what is going on. They attribute, look, our people are protecting themselves. Self-defense, self-determination is a human right. These guys will come and be telling you any kind of thing that they can tell you, okay? International law does not work like that. Why did you think that they fail in all these courts? Why? Because in the past, this same NSALAI law firm has billed about 19 cases against Ambazonian leaders. 19, in the US. Okay, all 19 cases were thrown out of the courts. Okay, all 19 cases. So why did he leave America now and go now to Europe? It's a question you have to ask yourself, because he had about 19 cases in America. All those cases were thrown out of the court. So the Cameroon government is just trying to play these games of I don't know the kind of game they are playing, but the more they delay the time, the more the crisis is going to another end. Okay. There's so many times that we saw these law firms, they tried to abandon what they were doing, okay? But this is the case that the NSALAI law firm had with the Ambazonian, the law firm, right? The case that the NSALAI law firm had with the Comrade Chris Ano even with the one with the Tapang Ivo. Okay, let me read the one with Comrade Chris Ano. They say court dismisses terrorism case against Chris Ano. The United States Central District Court of California on Monday, that was in 2019, dismissed all charges filed against Comrade Chris Ano. Then he was a communications secretary and the spokesperson of the Ambazonian interim government. Okay, this case was filed by NSALAI law firm. The case was read. The charges allege that Chris Ano, who resides in the United States, is a terrorist, a scammer, and opportunist who in late 2016 began scamming millions of Cameroonians by taking advantage of lawyers' civil protests to declare a secessionist government. That is the charge that this guy took to the to the United States court and filed charges against Comrade Chris Ano. This is not something. That's why we say that when he started doing these things in 2019, we told him that there is first of all, the failure of the Grand National Dialogue was supposed to be a signal to him. Next, there was the Swiss government negotiation going on. This guy was spending time taking people to court and oh my God. None of these cases all these cases were thrown out of court. Then, the case, it further claimed that the AIG is a self-anointed government of a violent and repressive Ambazonian separatist movement. This is what he filed in court. That's what he was saying. Then he said that a criminal enterprise formed under the umbrella of a illegal obtained non-profit organization called Ambazonia Foundation Inc., which was created according to the case by Chris Ano and his accomplices by making false representations. Okay. It further reads, NSALAI has said he initiated a lawsuit on behalf of client. The client is Cameroon government. Court's record state who suffered the loss of family, friends, relatives, employees, agents, co-workers, and laborers because of defendants' alleged criminal and terrorist activity. So he is going to say he is the one that has lost family members, right? That Chris Ano. So the way he put that case, it was. You cannot put a case, because you have to bring proof that this person is a terrorist. This person is this, because that's why we say when you guys, some people are calling people terrorists. Sometimes when you go to court, you have to prove why this person is a terrorist or is a armed robber or whatever name you are calling anybody. Salah went to court and he could not prove this is, and he was saying that it's his family member. They say, okay, bring one family member that Chris Ano killed. Bring one. He could not bring. Bring employees that suffer loss. Bring one. Salah claimed that the client up to 500 or 5,000 in number suffered severe emotionally distress, harassment, anxiety, and lack of sleep due to Chris Ano's material support of his agents, joint venture partners, and organization, namely the interim government. NSALAI further stated that Chris Ano's actions resulted in a total loss of plaintiff's economic interest in her business, because whenever plaintiffs, laborers, workers, or agents go to plaintiff's business in Cameroon, they are allegedly killed, kidnapped, maimed, and tortured. Okay. According to NSALAI, NSALAI requested the court to order Ano's support of the interim government terrorist activity stopped, so that his client, in his own words, can resume her business operations in Cameroon. So that, just look at the kind of case you're going to put. Two countries, it's just like Palestine and Israel are fighting, and you go and take two individuals that they are causing problem to you in Israel or Palestine. How can you put that kind of case? This is all what this guy is doing. And when you do this kind of cases, you instead help Ambazonia, because all these 19 cases that NSALAI filed in America, they were thrown out of the court. That is garbage. After going through all this NSALAI's argument, the California court refused to grant his request and instead summarily dismissed it without a hearing. That is, Chris Ano's case that NSALAI law firms filed was dismissed without even hearing. No hearing. So this guy is just going around trying to sue people when this case has nothing to do with individuals. These are people's lives. These are people who are fighting for their own case. It has nothing to do with individuals, right? What has people who have been, and he knows that the case is being, these are things that are committed by the Republic military. You coming to sue people who are freedom fighters. American law system does not act like that. They'll go into investigation. So anything that you people want to bring against any activist or any Ambazonian, you have to be ready. Because NSALAI, you know how much NSALAI law firm paid to Chris Ano, even to Tapang Ivo. They paid their charges, their court expenses, because each person have to go and bring a lawyer, and those lawyers, you have to pay them. But this was a frivolous lawsuit that this guy was filing against Ambazonian activists in America, right? Because if you look at it, all of them are just, they say they caught the Navy year. Oh my God. After going through NSALAI's argument, okay, because the argument was very frivolous, right? How can you say Chris Ano is disturbing your clients in Cameroon from doing business? Because when they go to Cameroon, they will attack them. How, can you? So the argument was very frivolous. The California court refused to grant his request and instead summarily dismissed. It was very shameful, right? This was very shameful because the case was dismissed out of the court, that the court never hear the case. Just imagine. So that's why in America, if he cannot bring this anymore in America, because most courts will only refer it and see that these are not cases that you have to bring. These people have a genuine fight, a genuine cause. The American government recognizes there is a fight, there is a war going on. That's why the American government recognizes that these people are suffering and give them TPS. The TPS is for Ambazonians, temporary protective status. When you go and fight this kind of matter now, you put yourself to a very, very low rank, because the government of America is already trying to ask the Cameroon government to go to negotiation. Okay, the Cameroon government need to go to negotiation. You now are taking people who are fighting genuinely to court without any just. Yeah. That's how So how can you do that? What case do you have? You don't have a case, because what you are taking to the American court has no face value. That's why they are saying that this is not something that we can even listen. They did not even listen to the cases. They throw the cases out of the U.S. court because it has no backing. That's what we are saying, that when you have this kind of cases, please make sure you have evidence, because the American court does not listen to say this man said that. Those bring evidence. Once you're suing somebody in court in America, make sure you have evidence, because that's what they listen to. They don't listen to the man tell me that, the man tell me that, the man. That's not what they listen to in court. You bring evidence to say that, okay, this man is this. Okay, this man commit this crime. Okay, let's see the crime. Bring the evidence. Prove that this man commit this crime that you're talking about. See, it doesn't suffice for you to take somebody in court, go and report people, give people's name. No, that's not how America work, right? Proof that this is what this man did with evidence. Okay? That's what people want to hear. You cannot just be going around saying you want to report people because people are, fighting for their freedom. Then you do not even so the case didn't even mention Cameroon. You don't even mention the Cameroon government military who are killing and who are doing all those atrocities. The case is only mentioning about the individual. Very weak case. Very weak, because how do you talk about a case, the case that we file against the government of La Republique? We filed a case, and that case was very powerful because the case was the people of Ambazonia against the La Republique government. That's the case that we filed in ICC. So when these guys are going to file a case in a local court and in one state, America has 50 states. You go and file a case in one state, it's very weak, and those things will not take you anywhere because you're going to look at people's, like the one of Eric Tato. Eric Tato has a civil lawsuit with the government of America that concerned his business. He has nothing to do with Ambazonia. This guy carried in his head, oh, Eric Tato will go to jail, blah blah blah. Oh my God! You see, so there are times that you have to understand. It doesn't just suffice for you to go and report somebody or go and say this person is this. Then you stay there. Then that person will counter. So there is counter lawsuit. That's why I say when you do something like that, this guy had to be paying money to. He paid money to Comrade Chris Ano. He paid money to Tapa Avo. Yes, and all those other guys so he spent a lot of money. That's why he cannot file lawsuit in America. He's running now to Europe to go and tell like people they want to go to Europe. I mean, this is okay. This is what I'm saying. Let me continue reading what the case between Comrade Chris Ano and this same NSALAI guy. A claim is plausible if the plaintiff alleges enough facts to draw a reasonable inference that the defendant is liable. Okay, because when you go and complain, you are the plaintiff. Go and complain that this man did this to me, or this man did it to my client. Bring them, draw facts, reasonable facts. Okay, a plaintiff need not provide detailed factual allegation, but must provide more than mere legal conclusions. It doesn't suffice for you to just come and say this man did this because you are a lawyer. Then they'll take that man and put in jail. It doesn't work like that. You have to bring those facts. Okay, elements of course of action. That's what the judge want to hear. Okay, that those elements of course of action supported by mere conclusion statement will not suffice. You have to bring those facts. Okay, yes, bring facts. Okay, but when we talked to Comrade Chris Ano back then, he said, I always knew it was a vendetta. It was a revenge. It was a jealous something. Okay, it was paid for by the French Cameroon regime. That's what he said, and it's true. All these lobbies are paid. Okay, but the interim government has a lobby now, and our lobby is very active. So when NSALAI law firm does anything now, he knows that the people of Ambazonia has it's not just one person you just go and report now. Here in the US, the people of Ambazonia versus you that you come and report anybody now. It's not about one person one-on-one again. We have a legal lobby, a lobby that will lobby that will go and just one thing that you go and say in court, they'll throw their nonsense out of court. Any garbage you go and talk about any people in America is a waste of time, because they have done that before, and they'll just refer to those old cases that they throw out of court. They say, you are still bringing this old thing again, this same thing, because it's the same thing. You go and say somebody is deserving somebody not to do business in Cameroon. What kind of case is that? We have a case between two countries. La Republique went to negotiation in Switzerland and left. La Republique went to negotiation in Canada and left. Then you're going to talk about somebody thief mbanga, or somebody thief chicken, or some man don't carry some my goat. How is that one concerned? International case with that need two, that is between two countries with one international mediation. That's what we are talking about. We're not talking about some man don't thief some my goat. Now way this salary law firm you go talk for American court. I mean, you get two countries that has equal status, then the secretary of communication of that country, you go and report that person. That judge even was even surprised. Are you bringing a secretary of communication here? This is not a jurisdiction for this court now. When you have in America, there are jurisdictions. That's why I like common law. Common law is very structural. Federal cases, okay, are cases that concerns government officials. If Comrade Chris was accused of embezzlement, it will go to federal court. Okay, if it's about something that concerns that jurisdiction, it will go to that jurisdiction. If that thing concerns that state, it will go to that state. Right? But at the end of the day, you are saying a case that concerns Cameroon, that the US does not even have jurisdiction in that kind of case, right? You are bringing it to this court in America. It doesn't concern this court. If Comrade Chris broke American law, okay, if he actually did that, like kidnapping that like this guy was saying, or he was a terrorist or blah blah, that is where America will hold you, because it has nothing to do with Cameroon law. They will judge you on American law, and it ends there, right? Like we have seen cases of where we had case of Mangang, she was given 2 years, right, because of some transaction business that concerns her business. It doesn't concern Ambazonia. But when you take somebody to court, be mindful of the counter court or counter sue, okay? Because you cannot just take somebody to court and go and sit in your house. You have to look for a lawyer if you lose that case, and wait for the counter lawsuit. And know that though, because once you lose, you have to start thinking of paying that man's money, because it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. You go and take people's money and waste their time, right? So once you do that, you should be ready for a counter lawsuit and ready to pay the court bills. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So this is just crazy, right? Chris Ano added, suggesting it to be he said, if we cannot arrest, abduct, or kill them, let's sue them to intimidate them and silence them. So though the Cameroon government suggesting it to be the raison d'etre behind the whole lawsuit, okay, Anu may be correct. That is the issue that happened when Anu was right. Then, so we all know that there are indications that the case was born out of intimidation, right? It's the same thing. You see this case behind me. It's the same thing. All these guys are in Europe now. This same NSALAI law firm is trying to do what he did to Comrade Chris Ano and all these other guys in America, trying to intimidate them, frighten them, right? That's what they are doing, right? But you see, that has not worked, right? That's not. Then, in an email message to Anu by NSALAI in March, he intimidated. My clients complain against you are for material support of terrorism, which led to the loss of life of loved ones, as well as the total extinction of all their economic interests and beatings and torture of their workers who did not obey your edicts. They are, and this is an understatement, outraged and disgusted by your action and conduct, as well as those of your co-conspirators. Possibly additional plaintiffs are on deck, as he said. That was but this is what we're talking about. This is 2019. I'm talking, NSALAI law firm took all these guys to court in America. They from all the facts, they threw these cases out of court. Okay. Anu has said that he laid low all along in the course of the proceeding, just to allow the court process to grind to the end. Now that it is all over, he said he will be turning the heat on NSALAI law firm, because that was when he had to give the counter lawsuit and NSALAI law firm had to pay him some money, right? Okay. His frivolous lawsuit was defamatory and character assassination against Comrade Chris Anu, right? Because when you do this in America, everything is in, once they put your fingerprint, when you go to any court or any police station or anywhere you go, they put your fingerprint, it goes to your criminal record, which is very bad. So a little case can make you lose jobs, or you can even, you have opportunities. They say they want to do background check, because the first thing in America, once you have a job application and you're trying to look for a job, then you go for this kind of interview, and you pass the interview. The next step, you pass the second interview. The third stage is background check. This is what they were going to be seeing in your record. Oh, you were charged of terrorism, because it will stay there even though you were freed, so it will take some time before that record will get out of your this thing. Okay, that is the issue with America, where so this kind of thing, you have to file for counter lawsuit so that this kind of cases should be taken out of your record. Because if you stay there, imagine you want to go and look for a job, then they want to do background check. They'll see everything. Because once they go to your background check and they just draw those information and they come out like this, every single time that you've been arrested, all your cases that you had, whether it's normal traffic, is there on record. So that is the thing with America. So this kind of cases is just to soil someone's name for nothing, when we have activists in America. Activists are not people you say they are bad people because they are trying to be against something. Activism. We have activists in America. They are not terrorists. They have a point that they are making against something, or against a government, or against a policy. You call them terrorists. I don't understand how that can go, right? So all those cases were thrown out of court because there's no evidence that these people are terrorists, or they are, or they are threatening your client. Who are the client? So the cases were just useless cases. So another thing that some of this Cameroon newspaper, look at what they are writing. See, more suit filed against Amba terrorists at ICC and UN. Oh my God! I need to see the manager of this newspaper, The Horizon. Chai! People are just, and this is how they are disgracing the journalistic ethics. Okay, they are just a disgrace to the ethics of this journalism. You just write anything that counts that you can write. You just, And they will just, that's why they put in quotes, because they know that these guys are just writing Amba terrorists, because they know that they are lying. That's why they put in quotes. But look at what this guy is writing. More suit fight. The ones in the US went nowhere. You are saying more suit. More you have to say, okay, you put more failed suit. Because if the one in the US, all 19 failed. You are going to put your newspaper. This guy filed for bankruptcy. He's looking for money. And the Republic government is so desperate, so much so that anyone that come and say, I'll help you now, they'll give you money. Okay? Imagine. It costs, that's what, so when that case was thrown out of court, Comrade Chris Ano had to file a counter lawsuit. Okay? And he made it clear that, that it costed him a lot of thousands of dollars. Because when you have a case, man, you have to look for a lawyer. So you don't just go to court alone. So Comrade Chris, we have to look for Comrade Chris' lawyer that went with Comrade Chris to court. So it wasn't a small, so this is what we say, that after that case was over, the judge now had to file for counter this thing, for motion for sanction against the NSALAI. Okay, yes. So that was what happened. So at the end of the day, it should be noted that the NSALAI had a similar suit with the Tapang Ivo, right? So, but the case was equally dismissed. Okay, so all these cases are dismissed. Okay, that is a problem. Okay, now let me bring up what Tapang Ivo had to say, okay, about his own case, because okay, but this same NSALAI law firm has a case now, the same thing that he was accusing Eric Tato, the COVID scheme thing that he was accusing Eric Tato of. He has been accused of. So he has a case now in America. Okay, I'll allow Tapang Ivo. Yes, let me bring you up and so that you can tell them. Okay.
Hi, greetings my fellow Ambazonians. I salute everybody. My name is Tapang Ivo. Tanku, I come again for come broke this particular breaking news. Great news, sweet news, pepper news is sweet past Alagata Pepe. Now, NSALAI Emmanuel, there's quack on the same phone screen, and his sister, this woman, NSALAI also, he direct one mommy, one papa, sister. That means they born them as they born you, so the next year they born NSALAI Emmanuel. This woman for on a screen, and this brother, now all the NSALAI family. Their papa been a thief man for Cameroon, state thief, a very ugly fellow, NSALAI Christopher, may he rest in pieces. Their papa been a thief man for Cameroon. He ruined people their future.
Christopher NSALAI,
he ruined their
I know
futures.
he was one
now
minister.
they are picking where they sponsor them. They come United States of America. They still continue the thief for this United States. Now, if you see at the right hand for my screen, there is a story. And this particular story, they show you, say, Ashburn woman convicted of 2.5 million pandemic fraud. Pandemic fraud, Ashburn woman convicted of 2.5 million pandemic fraud.
Ashburn woman
I
convicted.
will read this particular story. We want to see on the side of the screen for expose the gangster regime and his cohorts. They are picking them. They always favor their papa. Them no, they favor their papa. No me, they favor their papa. For thief, yes, they favor papa. For face, yes. For everything, they favor papa. Make a breakdown this story so that make una for Ambazonia una get revolutionary orgasm. Why? Because this idiot wait there for screen. He don't report some of we for all kind bureaus of investigation. Lie about we for court. So that I win them. I don't win them tire so that they pay me $12,000.
Yeah, they will report.
Say make a
most of them
don't lie. From this NSALAI Emmanuel one at the same for on a screen. I be winning for court for America. And as God go do a thing, God don't expose a hunter. That means the hunter becomes the haunted. Now, make I maximize my screen and read on this particular story where
Become the haunted,
very good
actually.
news. But before then, make I take out this idiots, their picture them for my corner screen and maximize and show on the story. Now, when I see this thing come up from the United States Attorney's Office, that means a big lawyer for the United States, the major, the Attorney General for Cameroon over Ambazonia.
Right.
Read the story. Ashburn woman convicted of 2.5 million fraud pandemic. And this is the real story. As we read, we go down. A federal jury convicted an Ashburn woman today on charges of conspiracy, bank fraud, and money laundering. According to the court records and evidence presented at trial, Rosemary.
So, wait, Tapang, wait. So they hold them. Say they commit fraud. Now fraud where they commit and way now that COVID fraud this. So I want me to put it understand. This case now the one way these people they go okay. I want to understand. You see, more no the COVID fraud no. COVID fraud now fraud way. American government will give money, it will give money for companies because during COVID time people don't know be go for work. So American government will give company money, make it support the workers One way they don't go work, and the one way they go work, it will help that company for pay the one them more money because it will be now let's say if you get COVID, you don't get to go work. So most of them will get COVID that period. You see, but they will still pay you if you're in a house. You see, because they don't want to make COVID can contaminate other workers. So that period now, most companies now, the American government now get some program where they call it that COVID fund. Okay, they call it say PPP loan. That loan now, the reason for that loan now say it will help you now as a company owner to pay your workers. So most companies now they be take advantage. One day they get 10 workers, they go put and say they get 50 workers. One day they get 5 workers, they go put and say they get 15 workers. So the government now be the pay that time because they don't be even check them. You see, no, they don't be the check them. So that time now, this very NSALAI law firm where he accused Eric Tato for this same fraud. He says 7 and I will Tapang Ivory talk say he now so American government to the whole he and his sister. That's what he did. So when I listen for Tapang, make it talk.
7 and her husband fraudulently obtained 2 paycheck protection program PPP loans. The PPP was a program instituted by the United States Congress to help businesses affected by the coronavirus pandemic continue to pay salaries or wages to their employees. NSALAI carried out the scheme in connection with 2 of her husband's businesses by creating fraudulent payroll documentation for each business and then submitting that documentation in support of the PPP loan applications. The fraudulent documentation presented at that her husband's businesses had dozens of employees with over 17 million US dollars of annual payroll in 2019, when in fact they had few, if any, employees. In total, NSALAI and her husband fraudulently obtained a
Okay, so let me explain this because you see, so the charge alleged that this NSALAI, the sister, used 2 of their companies okay, this same law firm company and another company to file for the American government for this PPP loan. You see, this PPP loan, me self, you know, I've apply. I get company, but I not do them because of fraud. This NSALAI law firm, they go apply. His sister ordered too. Now we tap on the talk so. Now they go discover say that amount of worker the way they say they get no be na the amount that way they inside the American government book. Because if you talk of workers, one, you must get social security. You must be social security. You must get social security where you show say that person they work, okay, for your company, and you show proof, employment letter, everything for proof say that person they work for that company. But when they can do the audit, they don't fit show any proof say all that worker where they don't put out their name, they work for their company. So now where they behold them to say they don't, you see, and here the amount of money now $17 million. I mean say they go pack worker. Maybe they should only pull a 100 worker. Where the Navy maybe they get a 2 or 3 workers there. So this same NSALAI man, where they go put it for Europe now, so he said they for road for prison. I don't even go into the other detail, but he says so. I see this so he there for road for prison. So any man with this same law firm, they go hold and say the law firm so get fraud case. You get fraudulent law case. Yes, for California. And when you hear the case the way the man get them. Yes. So no say this law firm don't get shabby, okay? They go file for bankruptcy. Okay. Yes. They get plenty fraudulent cases where they get an away, they go file, they go toxic, you know. Yes. So most of the time, the tapang in own law case, if then I say they be go do the same lie for court. Okay. Yes. This guy, Papa Christopher NSALAI been he come up from a Jakiri, okay, from Jakiri. He was a former minister of transport and even the ambassador for Central African Republic, okay. But his mom is a Betty from Yaoundé, okay, and a relation to the former first lady, Jean Irembia. So you see how the connections start coming, right? The father is from Jakiri, but the mom is Yaoundé woman. So he now is those kind of people who are like Eric Chinje, who said that their father is from this way and their mom is from Bamileke. So, which means that NSALAI and Bia are moyos. Yes, because the sister, the mother of the NSALAI is a Betty woman who has a relationship with the former first lady, Jean Irembia. So this guy has an interest, okay, because he is from Betty, so to say, because his dad is passed away, okay. And from what we know is that he went to school in California or whatever, and you know. But another important fact, his license has been suspended because in California you cannot practice law, and that was one thing that was brought in court. The state of California bar, his law license was suspended for failure to pay his bar fees. So when they suspend it, okay, how can you go and use your suspended license to sue people in court? Okay, so the California Law Association describes NSALAI as a workers' compensation attorney, and this workers' compensation attorney, don't forget, each lawyer or each case, okay, each law or lawyer has to be specialized in a particular domain. You can be private laws for maybe family law, or you can be like a civil lawyer, or just there are so many different types of law that you can be part of, or you can be a specialist of. So your law firm can have like family cases, or you can be like immigration lawyer, or you can be like, company lawyer. So you there must be some specialty that you are in. Okay, now they say that this NSALAI law firm is a workers' compensation attorney, and this raises a red flag during the cases that was having. Okay, that's what they said. Okay, there was an issue, and all this thing created a kind of issue when his revenue and what he reported, they say he had only 4 employees, but when I reported whether how many employees, okay, all this raised red flag, because when the American courts are trying to pull you into, then another relationship that he has is that this NSALAI law firm has a relationship with Atanganji, okay, and the NSALAI family. They have okay. So in the countdown to the 1997 presidential election, Atanganji, the then general manager of the mafia money laundering outfit called Highland Corporation Bank. Remember, Atanganji was the manager of that bank, Highland Corporation, whose only office was its headquarters at the Yaoundé Hilton Hotel, has a sinister plot to ban the SDF from contesting the election after repeated threats from Frundi that another stolen victory risks precipitating an all-right war. The plot involved presenting Ambassador NSALAI as a candidate for a potential coalition of CPDM satellite opposition parties led by the UDP of Loan Bako as a counterpoise to Frundi and its boisterous base of supporters in Bamenda. That you see, so you see the history where it comes from, NSALAI and Atanganji, and now being a lobby. Okay, the regime hope such a move will incite SDF militant to target NSALAI and his family. To crown it all, Atanganji conspired with the NSALAI family to fake the kidnapping of Mrs. NSALAI, to give the regime the excuse it wanted to blame the SDF and ban Frundi and impose a state of emergency on the northwest region, But then, so that it was 1997. The NSALAI family knew the story was fake and did not bother to alert the police. Rather, one of the NSALAI daughters came to the Herald office in Yaoundé to report her mom has been kidnapped in Bamenda. Okay, her story was contradictory. She hadn't called her dad to inform him, and her reason for not alerting the police was unconvincing. Okay, so after grilling her, they said that this was a fake story. You see, so Atanganji came to the rescue, and Atanganji paid the sum of 1 million to get the fake story published. So you see, this is what they are doing all the time. All these newspaper, Atanganji, they are very good at going to pay this newspaper to publish all these fake stories. But this is how you saw the relationship between Atanganji, the NSALAI family, and how it went to Frundi and all this fraud. Okay, so it's not new. I'm just bringing this because for you to know how yes, all this lobby that they go and buy in come and buy, it's so, remember they had another lobby apart from this NSALAI. They had another lobby. Cameroon hired another lobby, and that lobby had to quit because after 3 months the lobby could not have his salary. So even there in Cameroon doesn't pay salary, but here also they don't pay salary. The lobby waited for his salary, and the guy had to leave. That law firm had to leave because they could not pay the salary, right? That is it, and that was all fraud. But what I want to tell you, Ambazonians, is that we have a law firm also. We have a lobbyist now. You remember the interim government, Comrade Chris Anno hired a law firm. The law firm also helped us to secure a diplomatic mission in America. So we are doing things legally now. NSALAI law firm cannot bring this is garbage and come and present to anybody anymore. This thing was being done because of this garbage that this guy was taking around, and all these cases were thrown out of court. So please don't see this thing and take them seriously. Even those people in Europe, they don't bother about this guy. This guy is just going around disturbing place. 19 of these cases were thrown out of court, and he's going out to Europe to go and be intimidating those people in Europe there. So please stay cool. Let's stay focused, okay? And we hope that we'll have some good news coming soon, because we have seen some move. We are not going to reveal that to you guys, but there are things happening behind the scene, and when the thing comes to the open, you guys will understand how we have worked diplomatically with other countries, with other diplomatic world, to make this thing come to fruition, okay? So don't listen to naysayers, okay? Stay focused. Yes, nobody should tell you something contrary, and anything that does not wind well in your head, don't listen to that. We want to also say the people in the Bamenda market, we saw this fire there. We don't actually know the cause of the fire, but hopefully we're gonna get more information about the cause of the fire. This issue of light blackout and all these things can cause this fire, and you never know. Maybe the military, or but the weight of this fire cannot be somebody who just go and put something. This fire is either electricity, okay, because it shows that it was maybe this kind of, that's why we say they spend time to cut lights. In America, if you cut light for one day, or just 1 hour light, you know how many people will die? You know how many lawsuits that light company will get? Oh my God. Because people deal with electricity. Everybody, nobody has generator. So imagine if they cut light just for 30 minutes. If they cut light in America for 30 minutes, oh my God, many people will die. Many people, because there are many buildings that uses elevators. Many buildings uses elevator. How if light stops somewhere and you are inside an elevator? Imagine how people will die. People will suffocate. How it will be very, very bad. People inside the hospital having their own theater operation and so on and so forth. Emergency cases, people dying. Man, it will be crazy. That's why I don't remember the last time that, for the how many years that I've been in America, that I've seen any light went off. I still don't remember, because imagine everybody uses deep freezers. Put your food stuff, everything. If there's no light, where will you keep those things? We don't have bandaye to go and dry your meat. Everything is inside the deep freezer. Everybody has freeze and deep freezer. Freeze, deep freezer. Then there's no light for maybe 2-3 hours. Man, it'll be a disaster. Yeah, because all those food stuff will get bad and everybody will be crying. I'm telling you, because nobody has a generator here. Where will you go and look for a generator? Man, okay, but our people in Cameroon and Ambazonia, they are used to that. The guys in Nigeria has their NEPA there. Cameroon has their ININ. They don't have. You guys have to start suing those people, because when light go off, bam, it can destroy your TV, it can destroy your fridge, it can destroy your electrical stuff. But there's no lawsuit against these people. It's so bad. But that's a country, man. It's just crazy. Yep, it's just crazy. have a good time. Please don't forget to share, okay? Make sure you also subscribe if you're just joining, so that you can see me anytime I come on air, okay? God bless you, God bless Ambazonia, and God bless the world.